What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. So some of you guys were curious what I think about great on lipstones. So in this video I will break down some information that you can use, either you want to invest on that item or you just want to sell them right now to make profit. So first let me talk about the chapters that I'm going to talk on this video. First I will talk about value, and then about the current flow of this item, which is basically the demand and supply. And then I will talk about the flow predictions going forward. And on the four chapters I will talk about is it actually a good investment to buy them right now and sell later. And then finally I will end the video by talking about is it actually good to sell them right now, or is it actually good to keep them, hold them, and then sell later. So first let's talk about the value of this item. And so as you guys may know, great on lipstones is a material used for honing between 1370 all the way to 1490. And so this number obviously can increase if we have you know, the allowance of going past plus 20 on our relic gear. And so if we can go all the way to plus 25, then obviously this number is going to increase. Now let's talk about the current flow of this item. And so some of you guys may have seen this image that I've made in my previous videos. And so this basically explains the behavior of the free-to-play players and pay-to-win players in the market. And so whenever we don't have any catalyst, free-to-play will usually be on the supply side. They will be the sellers, and pay-to-win will be on the demand, which basically is the buyers. And so whenever we have a catalyst, in this case is going to be Valentine's release, some of the free-to-play players is not going to sell their lipstones anymore. They will use their tradable lipstones to hone their main, so they can you know, reach 1415 or 1445 because they want to Valentine, right? And so supply is going to be reduced or dry up if you want. And some of the free-to-play as well will be on the demand side. They will switch between from being a supply to go to the demand side, because you know they have a lot of gold. That's the case for veteran players. Whenever they have a lot of gold, they will be buying those great on lipstones, so they can go you know, whatever. If they were below 1350, 1415, they will go to 1415, and then they can also go to 1445. And obviously on the pay-to-win side, the demand is going to spike up, because obviously the pay-to-win players can pay money, and so you know, the demand is going to increase. So now let's talk about the flow going forward. And so on the demand side, I don't think there will be a major move. If we don't get any announcement or you know, any news on we can go past plus 20 on our relic gear, then I don't think there will be a major move on the demand side. Although I don't think it's gonna remain stable or going up a little bit maybe, because the pay-to-win players who didn't reach 1498 will still need to reach there, and they will be still looking to buy those great on lipstones in the market. And so when we have new class, in this case it's going to be the destroyer. Obviously they will need you know, not need, but I will say they will be looking to go above 1370, so they will need those great on lipstones to buy on the market. On the supply side, I do think it's going to have an increase, because obviously those sellers, those free-to-play who has been a seller and now they has been switching to the demand, or you know, they have been not selling, is gonna look back to come back to this supply side, because obviously they used a lot of gold. They will be looking to get some gold from selling those great on lipstones again. And so I do think the supply is going to increase. And also we have a catalyst, not catalyst I would say, but an event where a lot of players, like the casual players, or you know, the players who don't play a lot but not seriously, they don't have a lot of odds, who are at 1370 yet. But whenever those players will have their odd reaching 1370, it's gonna increase the supply of this item by a lot, but really a lot, because we have more casuals, I would say, than hardcore player. And so whenever those players get there, then the supply of this item in the market is going to spike by a lot. And so this is a representation of what I just said. And so this is our ghost right here. And so whenever our ghost was there, we didn't have a lot of supply, because the red line is supply and green line is demand, by the way. And so the demand was there because obviously a lot of whales and a lot of players were looking to buy this, so they can reach 1370 and above to do Argos. And so there was no supply, because most of the players were not able to reach 1370. But then we had Smartgate who released those events, and you know, they helped us get to 1370. And so most players were able to get to 1370, at least a lot. and then that increased the supply of this item, because obviously past 1370 you have access to the gradient rates that gives you the great on lipstones. And so they were selling a lot of them in the market, and so obviously the supply went up and the price went down. And so the demand, I don't think right now we had this event where as I said, some free-to-play reduced their supply, and also they went to beat the demand. And so as you can see, this is a representation of that. The supply went down, it dried up, I would say, and then the demand obviously went up because they want to reach file time normal mode by its release and stuff. And so I do think this line right here for me is I would say it's file time release, and then I would still expect some of the demand is going up and also the supply maybe stabilizing around here. I would say I don't think it's going to go down even further, but I do think after some maybe a few weeks, I do think the supply is going to go up, as I said previously right here. And so supply is going up, and I do think the demand is going to go at least a little bit down, because the free-to-play who has been in the demand because of this catalyst will go back on the supply side, right? So it does make sense. Supply won't go down, and demand go down and supplies go up. And then whenever we will have this right here is Vwhy, right? So I do think the same thing to happen again right here, where we have the demand go up and supply go down, because obviously people will the free-to-play is the one who changed their behavior. It's not the pay-to-win, right? And so after that, this red dot right here is actually whenever I do think these outs from the casual players, or not hardcore players, will be able to have their outs at 1370 and above. And so they will be selling their great on lipstones, as I said, and that's going to increase the supply of this item by a lot, but really a lot. And so whenever that happens, this spike of supply is going to really make a big impact on this item on the market, even though we have an increasing supply, because maybe some people will be looking to do Coco Satans and stuff like that, but still the supply of this item is going to outpace the demand of this item, and so the price will go down. So now, is it actually good to invest on this item? And so first off, although sometimes free-to-play players becomes on the demand side, as I said previously on this image right here, I don't think the risk reward of this investment is not really amazing, because we can't predict two things. First, we don't know when the player base odds are going to hit 1370. We don't have that number and data on our eyes. Only SmiteGate knows that, right? So we don't know when's that gonna happen, because obviously, let's say you buy right here or something like that, and then this red dot happens just after a few weeks of VAR. Imagine the price is gonna tank and you're gonna be losing a lot of gold. And also we don't know if the whale, if we're gonna have the ability to hold above 20. We don't know if they're going to release that or not. Some people say yes, some people say no, but to be honest, nobody knows. So if that happens, the rewards are going to be very high, but if that doesn't happen, I would say it's between medium and low, but the risk is really high, because we don't know when this event is going to happen. But obviously it will happen, but we don't know when. It could be early, it could be late, but we don't know when, right? So overall, I don't think it's a good investment, but that's just my opinion. So this is a representation of that risk reward. As I say, the red here is the risk, the possibility of losing. The green is going to be the possibility of rewards. And so as I said, you have a very huge risk because you don't know when this is going to happen, and you have the reward. It's not really amazing, I would say. At least that's what I think, right? But as I previously said, the whales may be allowed to go plus 20. We don't know, maybe that happens. And if that happens, the rewards is going to be very, very high, because that can go to anywhere. Honing past plus 20 really requires a lot of great on lipstones, and the whales don't care. They have so much money, right? So they will be still looking to buy them on the market and stuff like that. And so the rewards could be very huge, but you also have this is really not, I would say it's not 100%. So it's a gamble, right? And so I would say it's overall it's not a good investment. Now, is it okay to sell this item right now? The overall great on lipstones that you get from the gradient rate, and I would say is yes, you can, because the price obviously went up, right? It went up at least on my server it went up, so it's always good to take profit at a decent price, I would say. But if you're looking to accumulate those great on lipstones to be able to gamble on this opportunity right here, then maybe you want to hold them, right? Or because obviously you can sell them a bit later if that doesn't happen. But overall, I would say it's good to take profit right now, make some gold. And you know, so there is a lot of items out there who are also very good to invest. And also I will talk about those items in my future videos, but I would say overall, yes, it's good to sell them and take profit. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be spoiling my next video, is where did I invest 60% of my gold recently. So guys, thank you so much. I will see you on the next video. Peace.